Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm going to kick things off. We have lots of wonderful people who are going to share some thoughts on this project. And first and foremost, we are here to break ground on the South Valley Respite Center. This has been a project that the folks to my right and to my left and to the audience have been working on for 9 years. And wonderfully, we are going to get this done. So that is what we're celebrating today. And to tell you a little bit about the project, again, the speakers are going to come up and I'm going to introduce them. So I'm going to hold off on some of the intros until we get through our speakers as I go through them. But let me just mention that, fundamental, I think, to what is special about our community, and especially this time of year, is we think about our families. And we think about, especially in New Mexico, how our families have any kind of definition. Sometimes they're actually related, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're from different levels of cousins and so forth. But we are there for each other and we're there for our families, and especially as they age. And one of the things our city is blessed with, thanks to the hard work of many folks for decades, we have one of the top senior programs at the city and county together in central New Mexico in the country. It's actually one of the things we are the best at in America is our senior programming. And so this is going to be a much needed addition right here in the heart of the South Valley. And so for us too as a city, I just want to recognize the one Albuquerque spirit or one Bernalillo spirit, whichever one you want to use. The point is, this is a joint facility in all sorts of ways. And we're so grateful that we can demonstrate what it means to work together to help our seniors and to help our families, regardless of whether we're city, county, and otherwise, and even across departments. And so this is us truly saying it doesn't matter, which division you're in or where you're elected from. We want to be there for our families in every part of the city. And we got some ground to make up when it comes to the South Valley. So we're doing a little bit of that today. So this new center is going to meet a lot of these needs. It's going to be 2,700 square feet. It's got 12 rooms. And it's in, again, conjunction with the South Valley Multipurpose Center. And it's a critical function for our elderly and those who take care of the elderly, so they have a place to go during the day. Now, let me also just mention that these dollars originally appropriated by Representative Miguel Garcia in 2010. We've been working together on a number of issues since 2010 when we first met, actually, when I was in the state Senate. And for me, this is a small example of why I ran for mayor. It was to actually get the projects done and do the things that I had been talking about for 10 years. And so this is extra special for me too. So with that, let's hear a lot more about this project from some of our folks up here. And I'd like to begin with the commissioner from this area, Stephen Michael Quezada.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome to District 2 in the lovely South Valley. The sun came out just for this occasion. It's pretty awesome. The respite care site is something that, is sorely needed in this community. If you know anything about our communities, we don't tend to put our aging parents into old folks homes. I guess for a better word. We take care of our own. We take care of them at home, and that's just been something we've done culturally for many, many, many generations. And so because of that, we don't have that relief. We don't have that place for somebody to be able to take some time to themselves, to either pay their bills or go shopping or do the things that they normally do because they're taking care of their parents at home. My mom is an example of that. My mother took care of my grandmother all the way up to 97 years old. And so it was hard on her. She was single. My father had already passed, and it was just my mom and my grandmother. And she didn't have a place for relief. So we had to figure out a calendar when we could go to her house and give her some relief so she can go take care of her everyday needs. It's hard, though, with your children having to do that because we all work and we all have our own families to raise. So it's very difficult. So I think Representative Miguel Garcia understood that. He knew that at a level that a lot of people didn't know that. He tried to get this done a long time ago. And just like the mayor, that was one of the reasons why I ran for office, so we could get these things done. And so I'm very excited about doing that. As you know, there's different types of respite. There's ones that are in-home, that comes into your house depending on what type of care you needed. Families who choose services such as personal care, homemaking, skilled care, and companion services. There's an adult daycare where loved ones are dropped off at a facility where they're fed, have social interaction, and at the end of the day, they return home. Informal support, which includes people who offer to help with caregiving, such as other family members, friends, neighbors, religious communities, and other volunteers. Residential care, such as group homes, nursing facilities, and other specialized facilities that may provide emergency or planned respite care. And finally, emergency respite, where you are unexpectedly unable to care for your loved one, and emergency respite care can help. As for the county, as the county manager will mention, often this area and the family members who offer in-home care for the elderly are infirmed. So I could tell you that families do whatever it takes to make sure their loved ones are cared for. They often quit their jobs to offer care. They take shifts, or when all else fails, they ask friends and neighbors if they can help. So, after I told you my mom and my grandmother's story, we're a community that functions as a family. But an opportunity such as a respite center will truly be a blessing for this community. The ability to have care for your family members while you refuel and get some perspective is golden. The years of work that has gone into this center are finally going to pay off. The community value is immeasurable, and thank you all for coming, and thanks for the support from the city, from our county manager, our mayor, and our state representatives. Everybody came together to do something great for the community, and I'm very, very proud to be here today. Thank you.
Okay, and now let's hear from that very county manager, Julie Morgas Baca.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a pleasure to be here today. So as Representative Garcia knows, we've been at this for many, many, many years. And I remember as a deputy county manager in 2004, one of the first things he did is he came and talked to me about the beautiful center, about that potential of the South Valley Multipurpose Center. And when he asked if this is something that we wanted to do, I said, absolutely. And so many people from the community came and this is what they wanted to do. And unfortunately, since then, many of them have passed, but hopefully they're watching us from above. And there's many that are enjoying the center. So I just want to say that I can proudly say that's probably one of the best accomplishments of the county. So I was very proud to do that. And for this respite center, thank you, Councilor Peña. We passed the baton to you, and you took it graciously. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. Commissioner Quezada has always been on board. And when I became county manager, one of the first things, and I remember that day, he says, you make sure you get that agreement done. And we did. Thank you, Enrico Gradi, for all his support, because he's always been the person, everybody that knows Enrico, he's always in the trenches doing things. And Anna, thank you for being such a good partner. Georgia, we're finally here, Georgia Brasher. So we've been talking about this for a long time. Thank you so much for all your work. But it's just an honor to be partners with the city. And I know that this is one of many projects that we're going to partner with you on, Mayor Keller. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here. And thank you all for being here. Have a great day.
So next, we'd like to hear a little bit from one of our representatives who's been spearheading this from day one, but did want to just pause and mention our former Senior Affairs Director, Georgia, as well. And thank you for your work on this. We'll hear from the current version in a little bit, but also Pat Montoya is our Director of DMD, working on all the construction for this facility. Thank you, Pat. So with that, Representative Miguel Garcia.
Gracias, alcalde, y buenos días de Dios. It's a glorious day when we break ground to bring comfort to residents of our community that care for their loved ones, mainly elderly, disabled, elderly on chronic illnesses. And this is for them. This is a respite center for their dedication and commitment to caring for their loved ones in their homes. And seeing that these elderly pass away with dignity in their home. And also, you're standing on a real historical site. This used to be the farm of our fourth governor of the state of New Mexico, Octaviano Larrazolo. And on his farm, he was governor from 1919 to 1921. Back then, the governor served a 2-year term. And a young kid that worked for Governor Larrazolo on his farm, kind of weeding and cleaning and helping harvest, was Bobby Griego. Bobby Griego was one of our 40 elders from Atrisco that led the charge that brought this concept to me in terms of creating a multi-purpose senior center back in 1996. And we had groundbreaking in 2008, and we did the ribbon cutting in 2010. And and we kind of joke with Bobby because I say, we're going to do a statue of Governor Larrazolo at some point in time for our center, but we're also going to show you in that same setting as a little kid kind of stealing one of his prized lettuces. Because Governor Larrazolo was known for his lettuce patch, believe it or not, right here on his farm. And, other people that are no longer with us, that were part of that core of 40 elders from this community, Rita de Leon, she just lives across the street here in Atrisco, used to. Also, Francis Blea. Francis Blea lived up here further north of the church. Francis Blea and Bobby Griego were outstanding leaders that led the charge in terms of the elder base. They were the first Chicanos from Atrisco in this whole valley to go to UNM and get a degree. So we're very proud of them. And the elders in this community looked up to them for that accomplishment. And others that contributed to this effort, part of that core of 40, Nancy Gonzalez, she's a meal coordinator for the center. Sefi Chavez kind of collected the meal fee. She no longer is at the center. She had a drastic accident in her neighborhood. Her house blew up, and she hasn't come around since then. Also, Benny Chavez. When we met with the governor contributed $3 million to the multi-purpose center, and the total was 7.8 million. And we would have Benny lead us into Governor Richardson's conference room. And Benny was blind. And everybody made fun of Benny that he was kind of leading the blind leading the blind. And in this case, it really was. Because back then we were just still shooting in the air in terms of bringing down the 7.8 million. And we did it incrementally from 2003 to 2007. But I just want to kind of share also that a lot of people have been key to this effort. There was a couple of glitches with this initiative. And I have to thank Senator Ortiz, Pino, and Deacon Santos Abeta and myself were involved in a lawsuit against the county to salvage the $1 million for this respite center. And we were victorious. And from that came the need to kind of look at a different alternative of having the respite center built here on this site. And I have to thank Georgia Armijo, because when that decision was made, that settlement was made in the court, it basically provided the $1 million back to the state for a respite center, but the county was not going to build it here. And so we reached out to Georgia, and she was very grateful in saying the city will pick it up and we'll get it built in that Atrisco area. And fortunately, with the election of Klarissa Peña, she stepped up and ensured that that respite center would be built here. And also, there was also another glitch in terms of the funding. And that was the second glitch. We had $1 million. The city stated that we needed 500,000 more from the legislature to complete it. We got that. And then came the news that we had a temporary groundbreaking in March, and we got the news that we still lacked funding for the project. And that's when Mayor Keller stepped in after receiving a letter from me that this was not kind of a standard process, a standard procedure, and how we kind of do things in this community. And we wouldn't be having this groundbreaking if the mayor hadn't stepped in and said, we've got enough. We've got $1,500,000. Let's do it. And let's do it ASAP. So we're thankful that the mayor intervened and helped realize this groundbreaking today. Otherwise, we'd still probably be out another year before we broke ground. And again, it's been a long effort. And in our culture, our elders always tell us que la lucha es permitida. That basically means that it's good to struggle for what you perceive to be a good thing and never let down. And that's what this community has done. And our local political elected officials have also stood up in terms of realizing this dream once and for all. But a lot of people contributed to it. And we're grateful and we're gracious. Y que viva la Trisco Respite Center.
Well, thank you so much for that perspective, Representative, and thank you for walking the walk your whole career. I learn something from you every time you speak, so thank you for that. Now, also want to, I believe our city council president, Anna's gonna do it? Okay. Well, our senior affairs director, Ana Sanchez, come on up. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, and certainly many kudos to Georgia for leaving a wonderful legacy that now, certainly with all these friends and partners, we're getting this done. I've been at the helm since March of 2018 under Mayor Keller's administration. I'm so pleased as we're taking this first step and getting this facility built. I'd like to thank the champions. Certainly, they've already received certainly some recognition, but certainly Mayor Keller, Councilor Peña, County Commissioner Quezada, and certainly Representative Garcia and Senator Ortiz Pino. The City of Albuquerque is so committed to ensuring that our city is a great place for everyone to live. And the Department of Senior Affairs is so proud to offer an array of community supports for our elder population. This facility is another example and an important service that will provide and be available to our community for many loved ones and family members. And it wouldn't have happened without the local leaders that are here today. Thank you so much.
Okay, and let me just check. I think Rocky didn't make it. Just checking, Rocky. Okay. All right. Well, what we should do first off is thank you again to everyone who put this together. And for me, it was just an honor to come in and help push it across the finish line. And so, councilors and commissioners, representative, thank you for doing this. And I think we're going to try and on these projects like this. We set the bar at about 10 years. So next one, we're going to get done in 8 years. And eventually we're going to be at about a 3-year project cycle for this stuff. And so we're actually getting there in a lot of ways. Do you want to say a few words,
Yeah.
President? Okay. So let's close with our council president, the cruising counselor. Councilor.
Thank you, Mayor. People said a lot today, and I really appreciate, these things don't happen independent of each other. It takes all of us working together to make sure this happens. As Representative stated, it really took a long time. Unfortunately, some of the people as he stated, the elders from Holy Family Church that kind of led the charge on this, many of those folks have since passed away, so I just really appreciate their tenacity to make sure that we kept the baton going and that we actually got this done. This is just a really long awaited project. It's been, as Representative again stated, it's been a little challenge through the process, but it's really having the partnership with the city and the county to work together to make something happen on, obviously this is going to be a city facility on county land. That just doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of commitment and a lot of agreements working back and forth. So I really appreciate the mayor coming in and really helping to get this done. Obviously Representative, he's been patiently waiting for many years. And of course the commissioner, like Ms. Baca said, Julie said, is that, it's really coming together when he was elected to say, hey, let's get this done and let's work these agreements out. Initially, I think the city wanted to build the facility in a different location. And for me, like we talk about our elders, to have them at a different location when they could actually be here and access the services, the wonderful services that are happening at the county. So with that, I just want to say that I'm going to read. Charisse put me something to read, and I never do it, so I'm going to read it. So this long-awaited facility will be a welcome addition for the South Valley and the Southwest Mesa residents to provide respite for families with aging adults and assist in improving the entire family's quality of life. So, I just really, again, want to thank all my colleagues and everyone working together to make sure that this happens. And this has been stuck in my head, but, people wonder why Chicanos have a lot of kids. It's so that they can help take care of their elders. So anyway, again, I want to thank Senator Gerald Ortiz Pino, Senator Lopez, former Commissioner Art de la Cruz, Deacon Santos, George Armijo Brasher. Thank you for everything. Really appreciate you, Ana. Really want to thank you, Enrico, Nancy, my former analyst, Ramona, community member sitting right here, Johnny Chandler for putting up with all the chaos in terms of organizing this, Charisse, Michelle, our director from the city, Pat Montoya, Debbie Jo there in the back. It really takes a village, a community to make sure that these happen. So just again, want to thank you. Stacy, he's there in the back somewhere. There you are, Stacy. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, to the architects, Vigil, make us proud, build a wonderful facility here. So thank you. Oh, wait a second. So we're in the South Valley. I just want to know, who knows Las Mañanitas? Nancy? Okay. Well, it's somebody's birthday today. And since we're in the South Valley, we sing happy birthday, but we're in the South Valley. I think we should sing Las Mañanitas. So Nancy, why don't you lead us in that?
I don't know all the words either. It's a good thing. That's so nice. Thank you.
Is it the birthday? Are you the birthday?
We'll just do the
True,
short version.
it's true.
Yes, the short version.
I'm double 21.
All right.
You
You can do the math.
You guys
Okay,
ready?
21. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba Rey David. Pues el día de tu santo te las cantamos así. Despierta, mi bien, despierta, mira que ya amaneció. Y a los pajaritos cantan, la luna ya se metió.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I'm like the first one. All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. With that, let's break some ground.
Yeah,
So
let's
come
do
on
this.
over, Vigil. So ready? 3, 2, 1. All right.
Okay, we need better ones. Okay, one more time.
One more time. All right.
3, 2, 1, go.